the Western world. Well, somehow that's what God blessed them with.
Yes.
So why do you want to look like them?
Yeah, but the blacks
And
over there wear wigs as well.
Hold on. The blacks, even I'm talking about the blacks now, whether they are there, whether they are here. There are some people God blessed with that.
Yeah.
And that's what they are carrying.
But honestly,
But God has also blessed us with this beautiful natural stuff here. But we are saying, please God, we want to be like those people. And we wear those. And the truth is, for me, I think I love the natural part of women. When I see those things, I embrace. In fact, I fall in love with all those natural stuff. But when I see all those wigs, and I'm like, oh God.
but you see, for me, these days, I honestly, I would have preferred the natural, as in I go with my DD. Kind of loud is more convenient. I go with my DD. I have a natural hair. I go with my natural hair and all of that. But you know, the issue we have these days is that we are more busy. For me, I really don't have the time. Have to go and do that, make that hair every week. Honestly,
in 5 days it gets rough.
Yes, and if I want to go on my natural hair, I bet you I'm going to be in front of the mirror for 1 hour. Honestly,
Dressing it.
Yes, make it because you don't want to bring it the way our mothers used to bring it. Yes, as much as it's natural, you want it still.
You still want it to be trendy.
Yes, the way what my natural hair looks like. If I want my natural hair, everybody will always talk about it, but you don't know the stress that went into making that. So for me, I would have preferred it, but you realize that these days women in today's world. You want to, like, you are on air 8 o'clock, 8:30. You want to wake up 4 o'clock, 4:30 to get home, the house. Not to talk of those that has got kids. Want to do this and do all of that. So you just want to do the very convenient thing. And at the end of the day, you just pick the week and every day.
Whether it's rough or not, it doesn't matter. You just pick up the week. This one. Just put in the car. So when you're about to get in the car, you brush it. Bang, 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 bang.
It's as bad as now. Even our braids, we have wig for our braids. So you just put on. You feel like putting on. You want to be on braids. You have a wig for the braids. Which of the braids do you want? The big braids, the tiny braids. So you just put it on. I think it's
God, please, when I'm coming back again, if there's anything like that, to just make me a man again. Please.
So I'm telling you really don't want to go through all of that every morning. So I think that is it. But honestly, it's good. We are embracing a lot of those fashion we used to call the old fashions. You see us more these days in bubu, in kaftan, and where it's
and we love it.
Yes.
And the interesting part is they're so expensive now. Sometimes you just want to go into your mother's old wardrobe to pick out the clothes there.
And you see,
well,
even the actual K. We're using it to make gowns now. We're using it to make skirts, and we're using it to do a whole lot of beautiful things.
The point is that people are selling it and they're becoming so expensive. So if you add it,
it's the law of economics. The higher demand, the less.
Because everybody's just buying it. Ankara is becoming much more cheaper. Kampala now is, popular.
Very expensive.
Popping up a little bit because Ogun State has made it. There's a Kampala day. There's an Adre day. So it's becoming much more expensive. And then you're not going to the Damask, you're not going to the Ashoke, you're not going to the Kente, you're going to, there's so many things. But like I said earlier, let's take a look at the stories in the papers. Buhari says, a front page story of the Nation newspaper, terrorists use captives as human shield, says Buhari. Service chiefs should locate, eliminate criminals. IG deploys surveillance choppers. Holding on to hostages as human shield by terrorists is prolonging anti-terror war. Right, you have rescheduled debts, get more loans, IMF tells Nigeria. Reschedule debts and get more loans. Well, meanwhile, the World Bank is warning that we are getting to the precipice of borrowing. IMF is saying reschedule and borrow more. Campaign for APC PDP presidential ticket, hats up. Governors are beautiful brides. Everybody is conversing, to have them on this side. Let peace reign. Sultan urges politicians in prayers hold nationwide. Lagos collapsed building, 10 dead, 23 rescued. Nigeria loses 5.04 trillion naira yearly to head a farmer conflict and disqualify PDP presidential aspirants face panel today. National Assembly workers serve strike notice over wage. Soyinka visit Igboho in Cotonou. Kidnapping, residents block at Doakure Road. Kidnappers knelt before me for prayers, says freed pastor. Let's begin from the banner headline of the Nation newspaper this morning. Terrorists are apparently using captives as a shield, a human shield. And President Muhammadu Buhari citing that as one of the reasons why we are still battling insecurity as badly as we are. Tenable excuse?
Well, for me, as a president, of course, we all know that he doesn't go to the field, but
the briefing.
God bless you. So it's the briefing that he was addressing, speaking based on what he received. And don't forget that the Chief of Defense Staff just told us that it's difficult to fight the terrorists, being that even the soldiers or the military per status are not helping. They have moles among them, and they have people that are making things difficult. And for instance, look at this instance. It may be difficult for the military, the airstrike, whatever it is, to go and say, okay, we know we are there and we want to kill all of them. Then there will be a collateral damage because they will kill innocent people.
Definitely.
Because those are the people, they know, the terrorists know. That's the reason why they have these people around them.
But do you
to make them shield so that you can't attack them.
But you see, in every war, I'm really sorry to say this, because you look at in every war we have victims of war.
Very well.
That happens. Do you not think that instead of we folding our arms and waiting for all the country to be taken over, because it's a gradual thing, we saw what happened in the what's the name of this country now, that the terrorists took over the Afghanistan.
They're actually not terrorists, they're sects.
No. But what I was trying to say is that it came on gradually. This has been on for years, several years. You see them, progressing, taking over here, taking over there, taking over here, and all of a sudden, boom, the whole country was taken over. So do we begin to fold our arms because we do not want victims of war?
No, look, there are intelligence to this whole thing, and reason why the chief of defense staff had to cry out to say, okay, I have a challenge, my hands are tied. Why? Because my men are not helping matters. My men are sabotaging this whole fight. My men are doing this, they are doing that. So if that's the issue here, for instance, you are talking about victim of wars, are you saying that the 140-something people that were kidnapped in the train, whatever, okay, are you saying those people that they've been showing us from time to time, the babies that we just had among those people that they've been displaying, are you saying that the military should just go and kill everybody just because we want to kill terrorists?
Even if they have the location.
That is what Mr. President is saying. Look, they're using these people as shield. And the truth is, those people we know. In fact, the world will cry. And that's the reason why, in the first instance, the U.S. was saying that they cannot release some weapons to us because they know if you do, they will go and do this. Not just the wrong hands.
If you get into our hands,
so our hands can be used to probably kill innocent people. So, I mean, the citizens, so they want to avoid such things because that's why the intelligence comes in. Some of these things, we have said it. There are intelligence reports that they will happen. What did we do? What action did we take to avert it? So those are the challenges, Mr. No, not Mr. President, Mr. Was saying. Well, I mean, that was his, I mean, his own fear, challenges, and all that. So these are the things that, okay, now we want to take actions, and my men, and don't forget that he may not be on the field.
Yeah.
There are people that are on the field.
Yeah.
They are supposed to on a daily basis. Are supposed to do the work. The Americans, we heard the story. They came in, they picked their own men, and they left quietly. Quietly. So don't tell me that we can't achieve this. There are some people that are benefiting from this whole mess. Yes, really benefiting from it. And that is the reason why it can't stop. That excuse is not tenable. That people are, they're using, I don't expect Mr. President to be telling me something.
And you see, there are some, there are some particular reports that there are indications that the federal government might release some terrorists in exchange for
because that's what they're demanding for. They actually demanded for 15 of their commanders in exchange for 100.
All over the world. Look, it may not be
proclaimed
in public, or I mean, be seen like that. They do that. But they do exchange.
They do hostage
exchanges. They do. But then here, don't forget that the federal government just said that. In fact, they are trying to even criminalize
payment of ransom.
While the family of the victim are saying, don't even try it, because you can't tell me not to pay ransom when my family
exactly. At the end of the day, even the kidnapped might even have the funds to give out to set himself free. So why would I die in there when I can make a call and say, okay, go to so place, release so funds so that I can be released?
So for me,
if
now,
the federal government
for my
doing
take
anything
on ransom, I want to see ransom beyond cash. I want to see ransom beyond me paying you cash to get my people back. I'm also seeing ransom as an exchange, because it could come in different kinds. So I'm going beyond, okay, ransom is about money. I'm also saying, if federal government, if you're then exchanging, you're giving them 15 of their people so that they go back and re-strategize and still do more havoc.
But don't you think it's a fair number, 15 to 150?
Look, it's not. The 150 you're talking about, these are people that will come back to us as a family. Yeah, we want to see our family. Yes, the people going through, I mean, the mental issue, the everything. But now the 50 you are giving these people back. Sorry, the 15 you are giving these people back is more like
and
more than 15,000 of
because you're looking at the commanders. They are the commanders.
God bless you. That you don't know what they will do.
But that's what I was
saying. Encourage them.
Now they seem to be at a crossroad. Where do we go from here?
But that's what Nigerians are demanding for.
That is the reason why we are saying
what they want.
That's why we are saying that, Mr. President, you failed us as Commander-in-Chief.
Okay.
All the security agencies, you have failed us for getting paid from our tax money, and you are not delivering your job, and you are telling me that there is sabotage, and you are telling me that there are people in your camp that are not helping us to work. Those excuses for me are not tenable. So in as much as I will not agree to say, okay, you exchange terrorists to what. I want my people back. We want our people back home.
They seem to be in the middle of the death.
That is why some of us are clamoring for the appropriate things to do. This could be averted. And look, if we don't do something now, don't tell. Look, I've said that before. That the late Abacha said that if terrorism triumphs or thrives in a country more than 24 hours, it means that
the authorities are aware.
The people are they're in the known, they are part of them. And look, if this is the case, you cannot tell me you don't know. Mr. Jonathan came out to tell us that he knows that these people are in his government, he knows that terrorists were in his government. You can't tell me that you don't know.
Do we then take it back, Olayinka, to the issue of repentant terrorists, because I look at it, the Nigerian army,
Yes.
the defense headquarters keeps giving briefings every time. I mean, once or twice a month, they call journalists together and they give briefings on how many was killed, they give evidence and all that and all that. But despite all of this, we've killed this, we've killed that, we've killed this, we've killed that. Despite that, the numbers of recruits into the ranks of the ISWAP, or whether it's going to be a bandit terrorist or it's going to be Boko Haram, keeps increasing. Do we now go back to the issue of the so many repentant terrorists that we have led back into the society in the name of forgiving them and then letting them back? Do we go back to that issue and say that is where they recruited from? Because now they're no longer kidnapping boys. They're kidnapping, they're releasing. They're kidnapping, they're releasing. So where are they getting these people from? Are they re-recruiting the people? Because that's what El Rufai was saying. And that's what Zulum has said so far. These two governors have repeatedly said there is nothing like repentant terrorists. But they keep getting people. The commanders are arrested and their boys are creating havoc everywhere they go. So where are they getting these people from?
Well, for me, I think I agree with the other two governors about not agreeing to the repentant
term of repentant terrorists.
For me, these guys, see, it's simple. They come out, pick one or two things they need to pick, get their informations, do whatever they strategize, and they go back and they give them more information to say, okay, this is what is happening. That is what is happening. These are the same people that you say, oh, they are repentant terrorists, and they still go back and still carry those guns and still cause havoc. I don't believe in all those shenanigans of display by federal government carrying those people saying, okay, yes, these ones are they've repented, they buy uniform for them, buy shoes. All of them were dressing like schoolboy, all those things, and they said they're paying, they put them on some salary, whatever they're paying money, whether it's fat or
they actually turn them into militants.
No, for me, well, I won't go that route because it's not giving me any results. It's not giving me, and these people are, in fact, at the rate at which they are recruiting, we are not recruiting into our military forces like that. The way they are recruiting, is really bad.
And that's why I'm wondering, where are they recruiting from? From the society? Are there parents whose children got missing and didn't report it?
Don't forget that because we have a porous border, some of these people are even foreigners.
Like was alleged during the train attack.
Yes.
That they were not speaking our own brand of Fulfulde or Hausa.
Which is very, very possible. Because at least I've witnessed one like that. I was involved in one, and like I said the other time, and they imported people to come and kill people, and they were paying them money. So you can't take it away from us. And we saw some Nigerians or whatever. In fact, there are some bicycles that they stopped and they got some ammunition from them, and those guys were not from Nigeria, but they had crossed the border to Nigeria.
We've even heard, like I listened to a particular interview of one particular person that said he was kidnapped. Was it last year or 2 years ago? I can't remember now. And he said vividly that in the whole lot of people there, it was only one Nigerian that that he saw there, because he said it was only one Nigerian. He is from the north also, that spoke the Nigerian Fulani. It was even from him I heard that you have the Nigerian Fulani and you have that's the language itself.
It's like Yoruba. Yes. We have the Nigerian Yoruba. We have the Yoruba that they speak in Togo. We have the Yoruba they speak in Republic of Benin. So it's a bit different here and there. So
so it's when you listen to things like this and you cannot but you wonder. We've been talking before we got to this stage, this level where we are now. We've always talked about our very, very porous borders, and at times you want to wonder if there's something we is as if, you know, they make it look at as if it's you know, something so difficult beyond the
to
world
handle.
Anyway,
it must have been difficult if Donald Trump wanted to spend billions or trillions of dollars building a border wall. But let's take a look at the Nigerian Tribune.
all right, the list story here: Clark Adebanjo Obiozo to NEF. Dumping zoning will kill, bury Nigeria. God will show the way. Lawan unpurported presidential ambition. And I will hand over to anyone Nigerians elect. That's coming from President Muhammadu Buhari this morning. Gunmen strike again in Anambra. Kill policeman, 6 others. All right, Buhari tweets for the first time. I saw this yesterday. Since federal government lifted ban on Twitter. Okay, I want to reserve my comment on that. I don't want to say.
Can we please look at more important stories?
So, I don't want to.
I mean, we have a vice president who tweets every other time, who's always on social media.
But we're talking about the president now. We're not talking about
our president did not tweet that tweet. Somebody in his office tweeted on his behalf.
Well, whatever, but that's his office.
His account was used.
No, that is
the American president tweets. How many times in a day?
No.
Let's leave it. Let's leave it. Let's leave it to Mr. President too, because that's his account.
That's his account.
So well, you can see someone did on it.
Yes. The point is that he tweeted.
He tweeted. That's just a long
important issue.
That's just a long and short of it. PDP heads for appeal court overruling on conduct of primary elections, and the unfortunate one, 10 killed, 23 rescued in Lagos 3-story building collapse. 4-year-old and a female corps member among casualties. Very, very sad one. And a train attack. Bandits using captive as human shield. That's okay. World, I shouldn't forget this. World Press Freedom Day. Media freedom and the attack in Nigeria, say editors. Want federal government to make news, print, broadcast equipment, consumables tax free. And FIFA fines Nigeria 63.9 million naira for fans misconduct after Ghana match. I knew something was going to come out of
Would
that.
you say that would deserve that fine? 63.9 million.
Yes.
Well, I was expecting more armor.
Yes.
More than what
No,
they're
but
finding
then
us.
the next one is we're going to pay our next international friendly without fans. No
Without
fans will
fans.
be without fans. That's
Yeah, because I think we
punishment.
need to understand. There's serious reorientation we need to give to our people. One, what you did that day against who? It's like a madman. I think does a madman beat himself now? Have you seen? Does he still beat? Maybe those days they say he's a madman that was beat. Because I don't understand why you would destroy your own things. I don't understand why you will fight. You will scatter. You will go to the. I mean, I think we need to have a different. Okay, no, these are the Nigerian youths we are talking about. These are the leaders of tomorrow we are talking about
today.
These are the people that are saying they want to take over the nation like this. These are the people that cannot think outside the box. These are the people that is everything about them is destroy, 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 and destroy.
It's not working. Go to trade fair. It's not working. Go to BRC bus stop. It's not working. Break this one. It's not working. Burn the courts.
I mean, you look at.
I'm just wondering
the nonsense. You know, in display.
At the time,
there's no need for that.
This happened. I put out a question and I asked. I said, the cause of this would it not have much been the fact that it was an open ticket?
Well, maybe
because when you have an open ticket, you have every Tom, Dick, and Harry in there.
Maybe, but I won't say it is. Maybe, but I won't say it is because it's not peculiar to us. That's the reason why these Man U fans always get issues because they are always fighting and all that. Even with the fact that they
are playing
get
without
to,
fans as well,
they pay to get in, and yet they still do that. So we're just saying
that
that
players on the field.
We're not known for this.
No, that's
No. Nigerian fans, in fact, when we tell all over the world, they give us, awards, kudos and all that. So, at what point
did we arrive here?
Did we get
did
here?
we get here?
Because
so
we didn't
need to
win.
revisit this, and we really need to talk to our younger ones. We really need to I don't know how we're
In
going
fact,
to do it.
so many years ago, I'm really not a football fan, but I remember there was a particular match that Nigerian lost. I think it was a 1-0 a game, and maybe football fans will remember. And they, even with the loss, you see the cheer, the noise,
Yeah, they were still
they
clapping
yeah,
they did well, but that was against them. The
It was all over the
news.
point was that it was goal difference. That was the problem. They actually played well.
Yeah.
On both legs. They didn't score enough. So by the time they had to measure the goal difference, Ghana got the ticket. They played better. But then Nigerians do not measure that. I mean, it looks as if we're on a destruction path. Every time you think about something, the first thing that occurs to them, because I was just wondering, the day a truck, or was it, yeah, I think it was a truck, ran into those pupils at grammar school. The next thing the youths did on that road, they went on a rampage. They started breaking windscreen, shooting this, beating this vehicle, breaking people's glasses all over the place. Simply because one thing happened. They went from Ogba to Bega, destroying as many trucks and buses and all that passed by. My question is, does that now, does it remedy what happened?
Misplaced
What exactly are you doing?
Where they were supposed to
Is that how
their
to channel
anger.
your grievances?
Where they are supposed to channel their anger. Nobody is channeling his anger towards that. You see, and I'll still say it. Go and pick your PVC. Go make sure that you vote. Start and make sure that, okay, we see the right people. Okay, the person I voted for, okay, if a particular number voted for somebody, defend your vote and see. It's not going to destroy that. This one will not take us anywhere. But okay, you remember how much they said they're going to use to repair, fix all the things they destroyed.
Oh, they're going to use about for over 50 million to fix something. Then they're going to pay FIFA 63.9 million naira now fine, and then fans will not enter the stadium for the next match. So what are we talking about? We're being beaten on all sides with different sizes of cane. And this is a country that is borrowing money to practically do everything we need to do. It's so sad. Anyway, good news on the front page story of the Guardian newspaper this morning. President Muhammadu Buhari's grandson introduced to the world, because he came to visit the president at the Aso Rock yesterday. So one of his grandchildren, you see the picture story with Oshibado and Lawan looking on as the president was shaking his grandson. And of course, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahya, the Deputy Governor of Benue State, Umaru Kadafo, Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Isaac Kamowo, and other commanders serving the officers at the luncheon organized, the Eid al-Fitr luncheon organized to celebrate Eid al-Fitr for the troops combating terrorism in Maiduguri yesterday. Go after terrorists, eliminate them. Buhari orders security. Buhari Edoha exchanges Eid greetings. Service chiefs celebrate Eid al-Fitr with troops in Borno. Official soldiers working for terrorist CDS charges commanders. President says he's having sleepless nights over Nigeria's insecurity. Salah, pray for yourselves, not leaders who won't stop killings. Shehu Sani warns, I have no preferred candidate, presidential candidate yet for 2023 election, says Ladoja. Bleak Salah in Ebute Matters, 10 died, 24 rescued in collapse building. Undo PDP alleges plan to deduct workers' salaries for Amotekun. Again, Abe defies Amici consensus, buys Guba forms. Imo PDP aborts delegate selection over alleged plot to compromise process. Lobbying intensifies in Enugu PDP over Ugwai's successor 2023 presidency. Why Southeast can reap where it did not sow, by Yoruba youths. Let's take a look at the point quickly.
The Punch newspaper, the lead story is a presidency APC may field northern candidate awaits PDP primary. Our presidential ticket, God will show us the way, says Lawan, and blame PDP if North retains power, says APC chieftain. Nigerians suffering deserve new leadership, PDP spokesperson talking there. Above the nameplate, Idifitri security beefed up as Buhari prays in military barracks. Striking ASU members shouldn't be paid. That's a statement from federal government. And National Assembly workers reject staggered arrears payment, issue strike notice. Also, the picture story here is the picture story of the collapse building in Lagos, the very unfortunate one. And we have 700 companies jostle for 12 billion railway projects, and 44% of Nigerian firms paid Akas ransom in 2021. That's a report that is being brought out. And my girls with Saraki, Tambua, other Northern PDP presidential aspirant, that's coming from Wiki. And federal governments may release detained terrorists in exchange for 68 trained hostages. And Ekiti community protests, rising kidnapping, robberies, blocks road. Lagos CP summons MC Oluomo Itshaba over NURTW crisis.
Okay. I think this zoning thing, it's important we understand this part of it. PDP constitution made it clear on zoning. Then the APC, there's a gentleman agreement which Mr. Fashola has been, emphasizing for them to understand that. We had a gentleman agreement about zoning. Good. So in as much as I want to say, I want anyone that is coming to become our president to come on merit, irrespective of where it's coming from. Unfortunately, the system will run today. So if we've had someone that have done 8 years from the north, we have a country where is not just one zone.
Or one zone.
Let me use zone. Let me use tribe. One zone that is, in charge. That is that. It's a complicated place. We have different zones. So if we are talking about leadership or Utu, if it's like this, it's just naturally inclined, or let me use common sense to say, if this zone finish, let's look for the best. Now the merit will then come to, let's look for the merit in each zones to lead us. Let's look for the best candidate in different zones. So now going to say, now don't forget, before this last administration, before it came in, no, but all of them were talking about zoning. Now the northern part, they're rounding up their own section of it. Now they are the ones that are now coming to say
you don't have to
we
zone.
don't have to zone. This is very unfair. Very, very unfair. To be sincere, very, very unfair. And I think this is where also the South need to come together as one.
And speak for one
because
voice.
right now, the South is more like divided. And you are giving these people a chance. Already APC is saying that, okay, they are waiting for PDP. So immediately PDP present a candidate from the north. Because PDP is saying now that, look, forget about zoning. Now is to take power first. We are not in charge. We are not in power. So you cannot be talking about zoning. If we are in power now, we can talk about zoning, but we are not. So let us take, and to them, they believe is one zone that can give them power, that power. So they want to take power. Now, APC is saying that if PDP is presenting a northern candidate, it means that they will have to also consider another candidate and also jettison their own gentleman agreement on zoning. So what are we talking about? So it's just one section of the country that we can have. This is not nice. This is not fair. Morally, otherwise, it is out of place. So my prayer is, and if really they really want this country, one Nigeria to continue, I think the South need to come together and give us one candidate. than all of them declaring up and down.
Everybody declaring.
One, they need to give us
I'm
one
buying
candidate.
let them donate the 100 million to our problem.
Then also PDP should look at it. Look, I understand Mr. Atiku wants to become president, but please, if they can, if a PDP can present someone from the south, let APC also present someone from the south. Then let two of them, let us leave it to them. And because if this is a gentleman